Mocked by thugs at the barbershop, this incredible man's 40 unbeaten fights are finally revealed. In the small town of Maplewood, Malik operated a solid black barber chair tucked away in a cozy barbershop that reeked of nostalgia. The bright afternoon sun streamed through the windows, casting a warm glow on the walls adorned with pictures of satisfied customers. Malik was known for his gentle spirit, always quick to listen and lend a shoulder to lean on. Faded laughter mixed with the buzz of clippers, creating an atmosphere of warmth and community. But under that friendly demeanor lay a fierce, secret 40 unbeaten fights in the shadows of his neighborhood. Malik's heart tightened as he cut the hair of young boys, each snip triggering memories of his mother's sacrifices. She was his rock, raising him and his sister alone, her love as unconditional as a mother's day hug. Yet, while he thrived on hope, the pressures of life gnawed at the edges of his calm, especially for his sister, who carried the weight of high school and the search for acceptance on her small shoulders. Then, on a fateful afternoon, chaos crashed into his haven. A gang of local thugs swaggered into the shop, their laughter dripping with disdain. "What's this? A man with a pair of clippers thinks he can fight?" they jeered. Each taunt struck Malik like a punch to the gut, igniting a raging storm within him. His instinct to defend his honor wrestled against the life he chose, one of peace and gentleness. "Hey, leave him alone," said one of the regulars, but the words sounded hollow in the shadows of thuggish laughter. Malik felt the fear wrap around his throat, but deeper than that was the burning desire to protect everyone: his family, his customers, his community. He glanced at the open door, wishing he could dissolve into the sunlight pouring in, away from the ridicule. The weight of his mother's sacrifices settled heavy on his chest. Later that night, under a sky speckled with stars, Malik sat on the worn steps of his backyard, trying to catch his breath. Mr. Thompson, his elderly neighbor, noticed the furrow on his brow and shuffled over. "What's eating you, son?" he asked, his voice gravelly yet warm. Malik poured out his heart, revealing the turmoil within, the battle between his hidden past and the man he wanted to be. Mr. Thompson listened, nodding sagely. "Strength doesn't always mean fighting, Malik. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is to walk away." Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Tensions spiked the following day. Malik resolved to confront the thugs, his heart racing with new determination. But in a twisted turn, the encounter unraveled before him. He felt more like a punching bag than the protector. Embarrassment crushed him as whispers and giggles echoed in the shop for days. He became a ghost, dragging through his life, feeling the soft gasp of his dreams fading into shadows. As the burden weighed heavy, Malik stood at a crossroads. Fear and doubt battled within him, and just as he gathered the courage to make his stand, the stakes rose. Could he finagle strength from the very pain he wanted to shield his community from? He prepared, poised on the brink of revelation, with his future trembling in the balance. Would he redefine himself and reclaim his honor, or shall he let their mockery snuff his spirit? Malik woke up the next morning with a knot in his stomach. Sunshine poured in through the window, but it did little to lift the clouds in his mind. He stared at the ceiling, the plaster stained and cracked, as though it mirrored his own fractured spirit. The barber shop awaited him, the familiar buzz of clippers and chatter echoing in his head, but his heart felt heavy. Today, he decided, would be different. The nagging whispers from the thugs haunted him, replaying like an old record. "What's this? A man with a pair of clippers thinks he can fight?" Malik gritted his teeth. With every passing minute in bed, he could feel the fire build inside him. Would he let their words define him? After a simple breakfast, Malik took a deep breath, steeling his resolve. The smell of shampoo and hairspray hit him as he stepped into the barbershop, the bell above the door chiming like a distant reminder of better days. His regulars were sitting, flipping through magazines, oblivious to the battle raging inside him. Just another day, they thought. Malik approached Chris, a teenager with thick curls who didn't mind spending hours in the chair. "What's up, Malik?" Chris said with a smile, but Malik could see the flicker of concern in his eyes. "You all right?" "Yeah, I'm good." Malik forced a smile, but felt the weight of his own facade. "Just thinking." As he trimmed Chris's hair, Malik couldn't shake the feeling of eyes boring into him. The thugs lingered at the edges of his mind, lurking in the shadows like phantoms waiting to pounce. Each snip of the scissors felt like a declaration of war against the insecurities that clung to him. He finished with Chris, grateful for the normalcy, when the door swung open again. The same gang of thugs swaggered in, their smirks on full display. They didn't speak at first, just leaned against the wall, arms crossed, feeding off the palpable tension in the air. Malik's pulse quickened, betrayal of his earlier courage. Yet, determination swelled within him. "This is my place," he thought. "I've fought harder battles than these fools." "Look who it is," one of them sneered, stepping forward. "The barber that thinks he's a fighter." Laughter echoed, but Malik's heart raced for a different reason. This was his moment. He set down the clippers and straightened his back. "What do you want?" he asked, his voice steadier than he felt. The shop grew silent, all eyes locked on the unfolding drama. "We want you to remember that you don't belong here," the leader taunted, but Malik stood firm, refusing to back down. "Respect is earned, not demanded," Malik shot back, surprising even himself. "You think intimidating people makes you strong? Real strength is protecting your community." The thugs hesitated. There was something in Malik's voice, a solidness that seemed to shake their bravado. Then, silence. Malik felt his heart thud loudly, considering the gravity of his own words. Would this turn into a fight? Would he be ready to unleash the fighter within, the man who had faced 40 opponents with grim determination? The leader glared, weighing options that Malik couldn't decipher. The angles of this moment hung in the air like a weight ready to drop. Suddenly, the tension broke as sharply as glass. But who would be left standing? As the gang began to leave, Malik realized he wasn't just fighting for himself anymore. He was doing this for every kid who walked into his shop, for every family that looked to him for a sense of safety. "Don't come back," he shouted after them, a mixture of pride and fear rushing through his veins. The door slammed shut, leaving a lingering silence in the room. Faces, once etched with fear, now held respect and astonishment. Malik's heart raced, an adrenaline rush splashing through him. But deep down, he felt a well of uncertainty. Had he truly won? What if the thugs decided to retaliate? Would he be prepared for another confrontation? As the questions flooded his mind, a new feeling stirred within Malik, a flicker of hope that perhaps standing up could ignite change. Could he become a true protector, not just a man wielding clippers, but a beacon of strength for his community? The answer danced just out of reach, waiting to be uncovered. But one thing was certain, the fight was far from over. The heavy silence in the barbershop felt like a curtain dropped after a tense play. Eyes were wide, and breaths were held. Malik took a moment to breathe, to take in what had just transpired. His heart raced, but this time it was more from adrenaline than fear. He had spoken out something he didn't know he had the strength to do. Chris, still in the chair, was the first to break the stillness. "Wow, Malik. That was intense." His eyes sparkled with admiration. "You stood up to them like that? I can't believe it." Malik nodded, a mixture of pride and doubt coursing through him. "Yeah, but it's not over. They'll be back." He glanced toward the door, half expecting the thugs to burst through with vengeance. "Let them come," Chris said, his voice steady. "You showed them what you're made of. They'll think twice next time." Others in the shop began to join in. A regular named Mr. Thomas, a grizzled man who always cracked jokes, chimed in. "Hadn't he seen anyone stand up to those jokers like that since the last town fair? You're like our own little hero, lad." A flicker of warmth rippled through Malik. The collective support was a balm on his frayed nerves, but the truth echoed in the back of his mind. He wasn't a hero. He was just a barber, trying to keep peace. As he turned back to the mirrors, preparing for the next customer, Malik couldn't help but mentally replay the moment. The way he had felt, the power behind his words. He had touched something deep within himself that he thought he had buried long ago. "Barber that thinks he's a fighter," boomed the voice of the leader in his mind. The taunt haunted him, cycling through his thoughts. Yes, he had fought before more times than he could count. But these days, The fights were behind him, or so he thought. As he worked on another customer, an older gentleman named Mr. Jenkins, thoughts swirled. Memories of the ring, of opponents knocked down, of the thrill of victory mixed with the agony of loss flooded back. He remembered why he stopped fighting the loneliness that came with the constant battles. Yet, that's the thing about life. It never truly lets you go. It pulls you back in. Then came the realization. What if he combined his two worlds? Malik? Mr. Jenkins interrupted his thoughts, peering into the mirror with a puzzled look. You okay, son? You look lost in thought. Just thinking about the past, Malik replied, squeezing the clippers tighter in his hands. Sometimes the past is worth revisiting. But don't let it anchor you, Mr. Jenkins added with a smile. Malik's heart swelled with gratitude for the old man's wisdom. Maybe it was time. Time to not only defend his turf, but also to inspire the young kids like Chris. To show them the fight he had inside him. The one that didn't just come from swinging fists, but from protecting what he held dear. Just then, the door swung open. It felt like time slowed. The same gang of thugs stood there, casting shadows across the light of the barbershop. A palpable gasp rose in the air as the tension crept back in, thickening around them. They wore expressions that hinted at retaliation, their body language exuding an unnerving confidence. Looks like it's showtime, Malik whispered under his breath. The world was about to reshape once again, and this time it was clear he couldn't just be a barber. He had to become a warrior once more, not just for himself, but for everyone who stood behind him. Could Malik ride the tide of fear and turn it into something powerful? The next move would define him, and with hope, perhaps even spark a rebellion in their hearts. As he stepped forward, heart pounding and hands shaking, he wondered what the night held in store for the barbershop and its unlikely defender. Would he still stand tall? Would the community rally behind him? Only time would tell. Malik's breath caught in his throat as the gang members stepped deeper into the barbershop. It was like watching shadows claim the light, their dark presence looming over him and his customers. Time seemed to stand still, the air humming with anxiety, but he refused to let fear take hold. He clenched his fists, the weight of his past fueling a fire he thought was extinguished. The leader of the thugs, a tall figure with a sneering smile, took a step forward. Well, if it isn't the mighty barber. Thought you could scare us off with your little speech? Cute, the others chuckled, the sound sharp and taunting. Malik felt a rush of heat rise in him. You came back looking for a fight. Why not let the words end here? He maintained eye contact, refusing to back down, his heart hammering a rhythm of defiance. Around him, the barbershop, usually filled with laughter and chatter, lay still. Chris shifted in his chair, readying himself. Mr. Jenkins leaned slightly forward, his eyes sharp as he surveyed the tension that sparked at any moment. What's the matter? You lost your nerve? The thug taunted. Each word was like a pebble thrown at a glass window, threatening to shatter their newfound courage. In that moment, Malik thought about his customers, their trust in him, the moments they shared in this space. This wasn't just about him. He felt a swell of determination rise. I'm here for my community. Do you need to be reminded how that feels? The thugs exchanged glances, surprise flickering in their eyes. Malik took a breath, letting his genuine resolve fill the air. Leave us in peace. You're outnumbered and outclassed. It wasn't just words. It felt like the truth, something solid against the chaos. Chris, emboldened by Malik's stance, leapt up beside him. Yeah, you think you can just waltz in here and intimidate us? Not gonna happen. His voice wavered slightly, but held the fire of youth. The leader's expression hardened. You really think you can swing at us with just words? You're all talk, barber. Malik shook his head, a smile tugging at his lips. No, I'm a man who knows how to put up a fight. I won't let you destroy what we built here. As uncertainty flickered across the thugs' faces, Mr. Thomas stood, raising his voice. We're not afraid of you. Not here, not in our neighborhood. You think you're tough? Well, we got strength in numbers. The thugs shifted, uncertain. The barbershop erupted with murmurs of courage, whispers of encouragement amongst the customers combining like an invisible barrier surrounding Malik. This was unity, something they all craved but had been too hesitant to embrace. Malik felt energy pulse through him, an adrenaline rush that reminded him of the ring. We're ready for whatever you throw at us. You think you can break us? You have no idea who you're dealing with. The gang members took a step back, the bravado lessening. Frustration etched on their faces as they weighed their options, calculating if strength lay in numbers or in camaraderie. Think about it, boys, Malik pressed, recognizing an opening. You can walk away and never look back, or stay and face the truth. Everyone has strength. It's about how we use it. The taller thug hesitated, jaw clenched. In that moment, something shifted. Perhaps it was the bond between Malik and his community, or the palpable electricity in the air, but the tension snapped. What is it going to be? Chris asked, readying himself as if waiting for a bell to ring. Malik held his breath. Would they retreat? Would the thugs see this place not as a target, but as a symbol of strength? The leader's eyes darted among his friends, the weight of the decision heavy in the air. Then, he turned, eyes dark but voice simmering. We'll come back, but next time, you'll wish you hadn't stepped up. With that, they stormed out, the door slamming behind them, leaving a void filled with palpable relief that felt both glorious and fragile. Malik's heart raced, his mind whirring. Had they really done it? Unbelievable, Chris breathed, disbelief coloring his voice. Did we just scare them off? Malik turned. To see the faces of his community lit with hope, the tension in the room slowly transforming into something warm. I think we just started something, he said, a sense of purpose igniting within him. But as the night deepened, he knew that the battle wasn't over. Next time, they'd need to be ready. What would it take to not just defend their ground, but to thrive in the face of fear? And how deep did the fight run within each of them? Only time would unveil the answers. The barbershop felt different after the thugs left. The air still buzzed with the remnants of tension, but now there was a flicker of excitement. Malik looked around at the faces of his loyal customers, the young men who usually came in to freshen up, the older gentlemen reminiscing about the good old days, and the women who often opted for a simple trim. They were all his family now. A sense of pride washed over him. Did you see that? Chris exclaimed, a wide grin lighting up his youthful features. You had them shaking. Maybe, Malik replied, trying to rein in the euphoria that threatened to bloom. But it was just a start. They'll be back, and next time we need a stronger plan. Mr. Jenkins nodded, adjusting his glasses thoughtfully. You're right. They won't take this lightly. We need to stand strong together. We can't allow fear to take root in our community. Malik felt his heart swell with each word. These were more than just customers, they were a community ready to fight for what was theirs. Malik began pacing, lost in thought. If we're going to make a stand, we need to prepare. I may not be in the ring anymore, but the fight doesn't end there. It's here, in our lives, right now. Yep, Chris agreed, determination etched across his features. But how do we do it? It starts with talking, Malik suggested, his mind racing. We need to come together, plan our next moves. If we stand united, they can't intimidate us. The shop began to fill with ideas and chatter. Everyone started pitching and creating a community watch, planning meetings, organizing workshops to empower one another. As they spoke, Malik felt the flames of hope ignite anew. This wasn't just about defense. This was a chance for growth, for transformation. Days turned into weeks, and the barbershop became a hub of activity. They organized a community block party to foster connection, while also setting up self-defense classes where Malik taught willing participants some of the moves he learned during his fighting days. Yet, as the bond within the neighborhood grew, the looming threat of the gang still haunted them. Malik often found himself looking out the window, watching the street corner where they had first encountered the thugs. Each time a shadow passed by, his heart would skip a beat, a mix of anticipation and dread. One night, as Malik was closing up shop, he overheard Chris speaking with a couple of new faces. They were strangers, but shared excited murmurs about the community efforts. The vision was spreading. Malik felt a smile creep onto his lips. But just as he thought the night was winding down, a flash of darkness crossed his view. It was the gang again this time. They weren't just lurking. They were escalating. What are you going to do, Malik? Chris asked, his voice shaky yet firm. Are we ready? Malik swallowed hard, his heart pounding. This was the moment he had feared and anticipated. It was now or never. The weight of his community's hope rested on his shoulders, and the fire he once felt in the ring roared to life within him again. Let us show them what we're made of, he replied, his voice calm but steady. As they stepped outside, the adrenaline surged through their blood. Would they face fear with courage this time, Or would the shadows consume what they had worked so hard to build? In that instant, everything hung in the balance. Every ounce of hope, every ounce of determination felt ready to erupt. Would this be the definitive test of unity they needed? As Malik stepped out of the barbershop, the harsh street lights illuminated the faces of his friends standing beside him. The energy in the air crackled like a live wire. He could see the gang gathered a few blocks down, their figures outlined by the flickering neon glow of a nearby convenience store. They had returned, and this time it felt different. They weren't just here to intimidate. There was a hunger in their eyes that set Malik's heart racing. "Stay close," Malik instructed his crew, his voice low but firm. Chris shot him a nervous glance, and Malik could feel the weight of uncertainty in the young man. Fear was a natural instinct, but it was double-edged. Malik had to remind himself they were strong together, and that made all the difference. "Remember what we practiced," Malik called out to the group, his heart pounding with every word. "This isn't just about us. It's about showing everyone that we won't back down." The gang loomed larger as they approached, their laughter cutting through the tension like a knife. Malik could see their leader, a tall, imposing figure with a swagger that tried to mask a deeper insecurity. He felt a wave of rage wash over him, but steeled himself. Losing control would only give them an advantage. "What's this?" The leader scoffed, stepping forward. "A bunch of wannabe soldiers playing tough? You think a few self-defense classes will save you?" Malik stepped forward, a fire igniting in his chest. "We're not here to play. We're here to protect our home. You're the ones who don't belong." The gang's laughter died down, replaced by a simmering tension. "You've got guts, I'll give you that. But guts won't save you from what's about to happen next." "Maybe not, but we have spirit," Malik shot back. "And we've got a community behind us. You want trouble? We'll show you how we stand together." As he raised his chin defiantly, he could feel the pride radiate from his friends standing firm beside him. Chris, Mr. Jenkins, and all the others shared glances, their unity palpable in the air. Malik noticed a flicker of doubt cross the leader's face. It was only for a moment, but it was enough for Malik. "You think you can scare us? We're done living in fear. Tonight, we stand united." The gang members hesitated, exchanging guarded looks. Malik knew they must have sensed something shifting, a potential they underestimated. His voice rose, calling out to the neighboring houses. "Hey, we need you now. Come out. Show them we won't be silenced." At first, there was silence. But slowly, lights started flickering on in the windows. Faces appeared, peeking out from porches and doorways. In moments, others joined him, stepping into the street, standing side by side with Malik and his friends. He felt a rush of momentum. This was the embodiment of their hard work and determination. As the gang faced a united front of defenders, the leader's bravado began to falter. "You think a crowd will scare us?" He sneered again, but Malik could see the uncertainty washing over him. "Maybe we're not just a crowd," Malik countered, his voice steady and unwavering, "but a family prepared to fight." Suddenly, a loud shout erupted from the edge of the crowd. Someone from behind, a voice Malik recognized. It was Ms. Thompson, the elderly lady from the corner home. "We're done being afraid. Our time is now." Malik's heart swelled as the crowd rallied in a cheer, a chorus of solidarity. It was a moment of pure power, of belonging. With the community by his side, Malik felt invincible, even against the looming threat before him. But just when it seemed like victory was within reach, the gang leader made a quick decision, signaling to his crew with a sharp flick of his wrist. "Let us show them what real intimidation looks like." He shouted, and suddenly everything changed. Malik's heart dropped. He had aimed to unite and inspire, but now he faced a different reality, one more dangerous than he ever anticipated. Were they ready for what was about to unfold? Would this night bond them stronger than before, or plunge them deeper into chaos? The answers loomed just beyond the moment. The gang surged forward, breaking through the fragile line of solidarity that Malik had worked so hard to build. A palpable dread filled the air, causing his legs to feel heavy and his mind to race. The shouts and laughter of the approaching thugs echoed menacingly, and for a split second, he doubted their strength. His heart thudded against his ribs, teeth clenched in resolve he couldn't let fear take over. "Stay together," Malik commanded as he broke eye contact with the gang leader, shifting his focus to his friends. Chris was shaking, and Malik could see Mr. Jenkins' hand tighten around his cane, knuckles white with apprehension. "We need to stand our ground." But before he could rally them, chaos erupted. The gang darted forward, their aggression spilling into the night. Fists flew and yells rang out, the confrontation erupting into a sudden frenzy. Malik's breath caught in his throat as a wild swing narrowly missed his face, adrenaline kicking in hard. He stumbled back, but regained his footing. "Fight or leave," the gang leader hollered, his voice cutting through the madness. The thugs smirked, relishing the terror they instilled. Their bravado was like a ticking time bomb, becoming increasingly unstable. Malik knew they couldn't back down. This was for their community, their home. "Our unity is our strength," Malik bellowed, his voice louder than the chaos, pouring his heart into the call. Straining against the weight of fear, he reached out to those around him. He caught Chris' eye and shot him a firm nod. "We fight together. Right now?" Gathering his courage, Malik tossed aside hesitation and moved with purpose. He threw himself into the fray, leaning into a punch, managing to connect with one of the gang members. The feeling was electric, and though the moment was brief, it planted the seed of hope in his chest. Behind him, he heard the rush of his friends joining the melee, a beautiful clash of raw energy and unwavering spirit. "Hell yeah, Malik. Let us do this," Chris shouted, his determination palpable. They were fighting back, side by side, their bodies colliding against the gang's onslaught. Mr. Jenkins, though elderly, swung his cane with surprising ferocity, surprising not only the thugs but also himself. Every strike from his friends made Malik bolder. They were crafting their own story, a tale of resilience. With every movement, Malik's heartbeat aligned with the rhythm of this newfound battle. Pain was part of the game, but it was ignited by passion fuel for their fight. Just as the tide seemed to turn in their favor, Malik caught sight of something, another figure joining the fray. It was Andre, the tough kid from a neighboring block. This wasn't just about their neighborhood anymore. It was a call to arms that echoed throughout the entire community. Suddenly the numbers were swelling as more and more people poured into the fray. "We're not alone," Malik shouted, and the crowd responded with a newfound fervor, their voices intertwining in unity. But then, in the chaos, a flash of metal glinted in the moonlight. Malik's heart dropped as the gang leader pulled out a knife, his eyes burning with defiance. "You think you're heroes? This is where the fun begins." Malik felt the world tilting, the stakes rising higher than ever before. Were they truly ready to confront this kind of danger? Would their bond survive this brutal challenge? As the surrounding voices grew louder, he braced himself for the moment that would change everything. And then he realized this wasn't just a fight for survival. It was a fight for their very identity. What was coming next could either break them or bind them in ways they had never imagined. Malik's focus sharpened as he locked eyes with the gang leader, the weight of the knife hanging in the air between them like a declaration of war. His pulse raced, each thud in his chest demanding that he take a stand. He couldn't let fear take root. "Not now. Get back," he shouted, feeling the heat of the moment intensify. The noise of fists colliding and bodies tussling created a cacophony that was both terrifying and exhilarating. As the gang leader took a step forward, Malik remembered every conversation he had with Mr. Jenkins about standing tall in the face of adversity. His voice echoed in Malik's mind, urging him on. "You've got to fight for what's right, son." In that split second, something shifted within him. It wasn't just about preserving their community anymore. It was about preserving each other. Malik took a deep breath, grounding himself in that realization. He glanced at Chris and saw determination mirrored in his eyes. Without warning, the gang leader swung the knife, aiming it at the crowd. "Let's see how tough you really are," he taunted. Intense panic surged around Malik as he saw the blade glint once more. He couldn't watch anyone get hurt. Not Chris, not Mr. Jenkins, not even Andre. With newfound courage, he charged forward. Dodging the throng of chaos, he threw himself at the gang leader, his body colliding with the thug's side, sending them both spiraling to the ground. The knife clattered away from their grasp as they hit the pavement, and in that moment, Malik felt a surge of adrenaline. He wrestled for control, using his weight to pin the gang leader, but found himself struggling against the sheer size and strength of the thug. Through the haze of conflict, he could see his friends rallying around him, fierce and resolute. Chris was throwing punches beside him, each strike a statement that they wouldn't back down. Mr. Jenkins, cane raised high, was keeping others at bay, defending their makeshift fortress with courage that stunned them all. The gang leader grunted beneath Malik, his face twisted with rage. "You think this is going to end well for you?" he growled. But Malik's grip only tightened. He could feel his community rallying behind him, an unbreakable wall of support fueling his will to fight. "Stay strong," Malik yelled out, summoning every ounce of energy. "We're not going anywhere." Suddenly, the tide began to shift. As more people joined the fight and chaos roiled around them, the crowd's unity came alive. Each small victory, every kick, every swing of a cane seemed to echo louder than the gang's threats. It was overwhelming, energizing. The spirit of resistance transcended the brutality of the fight. But just as hope began to bloom in Malik's heart, he heard a harsh cry pierce through the din, a sharp gasp from Chris. Malik spun around, and the sight he saw made the blood drain from his face. One of the gang members had broken away, intent on attacking Chris from the side, where Malik could not reach him in time. "Chris!" he shouted, helpless and desperate, but the words hung in the air, unattainable. In that heartbeat of a moment, everything felt suspended. Would they lose him? Would they all be forced to pay the price for standing together? As Malik fought to break free from the gang leader's grasp, the crowd surged like a wave behind him, ready to protect their own. But the question loomed, would they arrive in time? He roared, determination surging through him. There had to be a way. There had to be a chance to save Chris. And then he spotted a glimmer of something shiny just behind Chris. Could it be the opportunity he needed to turn the tide of the fight? His heart raced as he made a decision. He had to try. He couldn't let fear or despair claim any more of his friends. With every ounce of strength, he propelled himself full speed toward his friend. Malik launched himself forward, his heart pounding like a drum in his chest. Time stretched and slowed as he raced toward Chris. A chaotic flurry of fists and shouts surrounded him, the energy crackling like static in the air. Each step felt like an eternity, but the glimmering hope behind Chris beckoned him closer. "Hold on, Chris," he shouted, desperation coating his voice as he pushed through the crowd. He could see Chris struggling, eyes wide and terrified, but there was fire behind them. He wasn't going down without a fight. As Malik neared, he reached out, fingers just brushing the handle of a metallic object lying on the ground. Its familiar shape sent a jolt of recognition through him. It was a wrench, polished and heavy, practically begging to be picked up. With one swift motion, Malik snatched it up and swung it hard toward the approaching gang member. The connection was solid, the loud clang cutting through the noise. The thug stumbled back, surprise written all over his face. "Get the hell away from him," Malik yelled, adrenaline surging like a tidal wave, fueling his every move. Malik felt a rush of triumph as Chris's eyes met his. There was relief there, mingling with disbelief, a connection made in that moment that was more potent than all their shared laughter in the past. "Let us do this," Chris shouted, gathering his strength as Malik threw him the wrench. Together, they fought back against the thug. The sound of their strikes became a rhythm, their bodies moving in sync, weaving through the chaos. Behind them, Mr. Jenkins was a figure of strength, raising his cane high as he shouted encouragements. "Don't back down. This is your home." With each moment that passed, Malik felt the crowd grow stronger, a united front against their fear. The earlier panic had transformed into a courageous roar. Their voices blended into one sound, fierce and determined. Malik swung the wrench again, connecting with the gang member's side. It felt empowering to use something tangible to defend their world. Each impact echoed louder than the threats they faced. Malik could see the front line of their community, neighbors and friends, standing shoulder to shoulder, rallying against the thugs. He had never felt more alive. But the fight wasn't over yet. The gang leader, refocused and furious, pushed back against Malik, his eyes burning with a chilling rage. In the chaos, he reached for something, a knife that had slipped from his grasp earlier. Malik's stomach dropped as he saw it in the thug's hand, glinting cruelly in the dim light. "Watch out," Chris screamed, just as Malik shoved him aside, intercepting the blow meant for his friend. Pain surged through his side as the gang leader's knife grazed him, but it was instinct that kept Malik moving. He had to protect Chris, and that was all that mattered. The gang leader sneered. You're in over your head, kid. No, we're not. Malik grimaced. Determination etched across his face as he pushed through the pain. He wasn't alone. They weren't alone. The crowd surged behind him, their collective strength wrapping around Malik like an embrace. Mr. Jenkins led the charge, cane in hand, knocking the gang leader off balance just as Malik lunged again. Their movements became a fluid dance of defiance, hope shining brighter than any blade. But then it all seemed to hang in the balance. The knife was still there, danger lurking in the hearts of those who fought. With one final push, would they find victory together, or would the night swallow their hopes whole? As Malik closed in on the gang leader, he could see something flicker in the corner of his eye, a movement that seemed out of place in the chaotic melee. What was it? Another threat lurking among them? Just as he thought he had everything under control, the tide shifted once more. Would this fight end in triumph, or would it push them into darkness? Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the night. Malik turned just in time to see Andre, the tough kid from the neighbor block, racing toward them, brandishing a large trash can lid like a shield. Behind him were other neighbors, glasses clinking and frying pans gleaming, all determined to hold the line alongside him. We're not backing down, Andre shouted, his fierce expression igniting a fire in the crowd. It was as if a dam had burst. Everyone surged forward, a wave of resolve crashing against the thugs. The gang's confidence faltered, faces shifting from scorn to confusion as they faced an unrelenting coalition of community members prepared to stand together. Together, Malik bellowed, locking eyes with Chris, and they leaped toward the fallen gang leader. This is our home. You don't belong here. The warmth of solidarity filled Malik's chest, pushing him toward action as fierce as the adrenaline coursing through his veins. The gang leader, desperate and unsteady, swung his knife, but Mr. Jenkins sidestepped him, cane in hand, delivering a powerful strike to the thug's knee. It sent shockwaves through Malik, a reminder that wisdom and courage could hide in unexpected places. Now, Malik yelled, we have to push them out. With synchronized determination, arms and legs became an unstoppable force of unity. People who had once hesitated moved forward, bolstered by a collective strength like a wall. The air was electric as fearless shouts erupted, combining into a chant that resonated even through the cacophony. Not here. Not now. Malik saw the gang falter, their bravado wavering under the weight of the crowd chanting. Each blow from the community collided with the thugs' bravado, dulling the edge of intimidation they wielded so aggressively. He punched through the chaos, alongside Chris and Andre, while Mr. Jenkins held steady, defending their flank. Together, they transformed fear into a tangible weapon. In a chaotic yet choreographed performance, the gang began to retreat, stumbling back. The knife slipped from the thug's grasp, hitting the pavement with a finality that echoed through the air. Keep pushing, Malik yelled, fueled by the surge of collaborative spirit. They want to come back. Finally, the last thug turned, eyes wide with fear, and ran down the street, chest heaving like a flag of defeat. Malik's heart raced with the thrill of not just survival, but victory, a promise strengthened by the strength of their bonds. One by one, the members of the community began to cheer, voices lifting to the sky, exulting in their hard-won triumph. Malik's heart swelled with pride as he turned to look at the faces around him, each one lit with a sense of purpose, transformed by the night's struggle. Wow, Chris breathed, the awe clear in his young eyes. We did it. We really did it. They ran. Malik nodded, emotion filling his heart to the brim. Yeah, together. Amid the laughter and towels being draped as makeshift capes, Mr. Jenkins approached Malik with a proud smile, a twinkle in his eye. You showed them what real strength looks like, son. Malik looked from one glowing face to another, feeling the love and unity pulsating among them. I couldn't have done it without all of you. This isn't just my victory, it's ours. We fought for each other. As they gathered, people began offering their belongings, battered pans and shields used to defend what mattered most. They were weapons of peace forged in unity, symbols of the bravery they would carry forward. Let us keep this strength alive, Malik exclaimed, arms raised triumphantly. Let us take this moment and build something amazing, right here. We can reach every kid, every family, and remind them that they have a community ready to fight for them. Together, We can build hope." Cheers erupted among the crowd, and they embraced as a powerful bond blossomed. The fight had transformed them, showed them not just their strength, but the strength of unity. Standing with his community, Malik felt tears prick at his eyes, not just from the struggle, but from the acceptance of his past and an undeniable hope for the future. Their shadows no longer loomed darkly but danced in the warm light of their victory. Days turned to weeks, and their barbershop corner became a beacon for all. Together, they hosted events to strengthen ties, teach skills, and inspire the next generation. And in shared moments, Malik rediscovered himself not just as a barber or a fighter, but as a protector, a mentor, and a guiding light in Maplewood. In celebrating victories, big and small, the barbershop thrived, a hub of laughter and conversation, where haircuts turned into lessons and community became family. Malik finally understood the essence of his strength. He wasn't just fighting against fear. He was building a home touched by love, resilience, and unity. This, at last, felt like the true victory won beyond the ring. Together, they had begun to rewrite their story. And with that, the world outside the barbershop continued to spin with promise, a new beginning burning brightly against the night. You'll want to stick around for more amazing stories just like this one. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss out on the next exclusive tales that inspire and uplift. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let us know you're engaged. Comment down below your thoughts and feelings about this incredible ending, because we want to hear from you. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait, not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand how vital your support is for our community.